Hey everybody, we're back. Estival versus. Now we're doing I'm the Star. Defeat Homura, Yumi, and Miyabi. I'm assuming I'm going to be playing as Asuka. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch to her right now. I'm level 32. Everybody seems to have forgotten, but I'm the main character here. Okay, is this going to be like another one of those like parody, self-aware, fourth wall breaking stories of like, oh, who the real protagonist is? Okay. Let's do it. I did say that Asuka was pretty much Bugs Bunny in these special missions because of the fourth wall breaking, so let's just continue doing that. Wait, are we still continuing with the whole, like, this takes place after the OVA thing? Quite exhausting. Yeah, being in this hot spring. Another battle is right around the corner in this beach that we're technically not supposed to be in yet. I mean, you say, oh, I sense a battle brewing, but like, yeah, I mean, the battle is already brewing technically because you had those like bag on their head shinobi attacking you out of nowhere in the OVA. What? Before we settle the biggest debate of all time, Coke or Pepsi, which one is it? Come on. You're either my friend or my enemy. Either I let you live or I kill you, depending on your answer. I'm not gonna tell you what my answer is. Fantastic. How little of a role have you played in this game that is technically about you? Well, I mean, actually, you were a pretty big part in SK Burst. You were a big part in Deep Crimson. You and Homura were a really big part in Deep Crimson, like the two of you together. Shinobi versus, well, I mean, everybody got their own little bit. They all got their own story. I guess it's just an Estival versus where you basically did nothing. Even when one of the biggest characters in the story was your grandma, you barely did anything. I'll be non-existent soon. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that is, they took the words right out of my mouth. The story is pretty much about, you know, Gessen and Heavy Joe, the new Heavy Joe. So it's a little weird to have the other two just kind of just sit around and not do much. Oh yeah, Homura definitely got fucked in Estival versus. Like, well, how many times? No, actually, you only play as Homura one time in the story during the fucking tutorial, and that's it. You never fucking use her again. You fight against her, but you never fucking use her at all, ever, just once. And then, of course, I mean, the side story doesn't technically count. That's like a non-canon thing, isn't it? So, like, yeah, you only use her once. She had a... I mean, she was a pretty big part of Burst because, you know, they had, like, the new Heavy Joe story. And then in SK Deep Crimson. In Deep Crimson, it was almost, like, entirely about Homura, which is what makes her such an awesome character. And then in Shinobi versus, like, yeah, she was also a pretty big part. Like, she was awesome in Shinobi. So, yeah, like, in Estival versus suddenly is just Gessen and Heavy Joe extraordinaire. And now, like, the other two characters that used to be really awesome were just kind of not doing anything. Wow, that's a pretty low blow. It's like, well, at least you got shitty, idiotic comedy bits that don't really work all that well to rely on. I don't even have, like stupid comedy bits, other than Hanzo taking over my body and complaining about my boob size. Yeah, it's like, you have such a wonderful personality. Just take a look at all the fan service that people make of you. Says Yumi as she digs through all of the Yumi fan art and all the Yumi cards from U-Wave. Your rivalry, I mean, that's not something that is exclusive to Asuka, you know, like, you're just saying that she's not, like, a good character without the help of other characters. Yeah. So my whole personality depends on someone else. Oh my god. You know, again, I said this before, it's like the writers of this game are very well aware of all of the flaws that this story and all the characters have, and yet they're still so willing to recycle and rehash the same fucking shit. I'm like, isn't this like a wake-up call to be like, hey, let's fucking do something different? Even if they're all just jokes, let's make different jokes. And again, it's okay to be self-aware about this, you know? This is funny, I like this whole bit, but like, if you do something that you know is not as good as you would like, and then acknowledge that it's not as good as you will like, and then continue to have it be that way, then you're just making it worse. Mug your own grave, Yumi. Dog. You're brash and dumb. I mean, that's not necessarily a good character trait to have. I agree, but still, you know, Asuka is technically supposed to be like the Goku of the series, right? So, she really hasn't done anything that's like, you know, Goku-like. You know, there's no like Super Saiyan equivalent, you know? It's like, you know, she really hasn't had like her awesome moment. She hasn't had like her Goku versus Frieza thing. She's had her Goku versus Vegeta thing, but not, you know, she hasn't really progressed beyond that. Face you? Like fight? But we've already fought so many fucking times. Again, just go back to the competitive, like, oh, I'll fight, I'm gonna win, whoa, we'll see about that. Yeah, let's stand out by doing the thing that we always do in every game. Yeah, that is so stand-offish of you. Yeah, win and stand out. And when I mean stand out, I mean literally stand out, because the two of you are gonna be laying on the floor, dying by my hand. Okay, we're playing as Asuka. And we're fighting the three of them, which is totally different from when we were playing as Yumi and, you know, fighting the other three. Okay, so usually the in-game dialogue is way funnier than the scenes that we're experiencing right now, so let's just give those a chance. You guys can tell that I'm not liking any of these missions at all, huh? It's barely been 2 missions and I'm already kind of pissed. You're just so crummy. What a waste. Let's be self-aware about our flaws, but then proceed to never fix our flaws because the fans. The fans will get angry if things change, so let's just continue to have things be the same forever. Please no. Please progress. I'm not giving up the lead role. Oh, back to fourth wall breaking, okay. Too mature? So? Black Aura's cool. Yeah, it's like, it's because I'm black, isn't it? But the entire point of Senran Kagura is to prove that the villains aren't that bad. Make me the lead? I mean, you were technically the lead of Deep Crimson. Even worse? Just charge us head first? I've seen a lot of protagonists that charge head first. Yes, you are. You're pretty stupid. Most of the time. That kind of attitude that makes her a villain? I mean, she was kind of a villain in Shinobi Versus, but why now? You're pretty much leading material, but there's gonna be a but, like a huge but in this. But you're so extreme about your philosophy or something. Okay, is that it? And like, oh yeah, you completely fit the lead role. I just don't want you to have the lead role. You could win, but I don't want you to win. There was literally no comeback. Just generic anime, I will not lose to you kind of thing. Wow. Okay. They were doing so well, pointing out all the character traits like a bullet point list. By now they just said, well, I'll do my best. Or something. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it seems that Asuka kind of has it out for Yumi right now, so it'd be pretty fitting if she was the first one to go. That's the first person you want to get out of the way early. Okay, rocking the blue bikini. I feel kind of proud of the setup that I got going on for Yumi right now. Long hair, blue bikini, then that ribbon. It fits pretty well. That looks like something that I would see, like, legitimately, like, in an official capacity for Senran Kagura. Obviously, Yumi has shorter hair, so it'd probably be like future Yumi or something like that. Yumi years later after graduation. She'd have, like, longer hair to show that time has passed. And then she'd be way more experienced and then use that giant ice spider for more deadly things. And be a badass. Rather than transform into a shitty transformation that doesn't fucking do anything. Now, speaking of transformations that don't do anything, let's do a transformation that actually does do something. Okay, before I finish... Okay, after I'm done with my very slow recovery animation, now we can actually attack. To which then, all the other characters can have their own recovery animation that completely nullify the rest of the attack that I'm doing. Yeah, okay. Bam, boom, bop, 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 bop. You see? Like, they go flying so far away that the final attack doesn't do shit. That's why the vast majority, like, these ninja art attacks are not tailored for one-on-one fighting. They're tailored for fighting giant crowds. But there's not nearly enough giant crowds for all those moves to be worth it. Or to be as enjoyable as you'd want them to be. Blah! Blah! Okay, come on, you slow-ass goddamn thing. I'm already complaining enough about things that are slow. The last thing that I need is a slow-ass robot. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Get out of here. Take your swords and shove them. Shove them up there. Okay, Yumi, you're next. Oh, come on. You gotta wait forever to put away the swords. There we go. Now you're done. We only need one more. We need the villain, quote-unquote. It's so weird, like, no, you can't be the lead because you look like a villain, but, like, isn't the entire point of Senran Kagura the fact that they're supposed to teach you that maybe the people who we, you know, label as villains are actually not as bad as how we think they are? Isn't that the entire point? Is that good and evil, they're just, like, relative terms? They're just not, they're not what we really think they mean? That is less about being labeled a good guy or a bad guy and more about, you know, facing goals and having different philosophies that clash, but even then we can meet some common ground to which then we can find peace amongst everybody. But now it's like, now you can't be the lead, you look like a villain. As if we have never had any villain leads before. I think it would have been, you know, probably a little bit more special, a little bit more unique, instead of having, like, generic, you know, Goku-type protagonists, you know, that's like, oh, everybody's trying to kill me, and for some reason I make friends with all of them somehow. You know? I'm always happy and cheery, and I always solve everybody's problems magically by just smiling a lot at them. and then miraculously being super strong when I need to be. No, I think it's better to have maybe like somebody like Homura, or somebody like Miyabi, you know? Somebody that can be described as villainous, who then becomes a better person. Somebody that changes over time. Or somebody that has some very clear flaws. Somebody who you're clearly not supposed to root for at the beginning, but then you root for them because of the struggles that they go through. Like, you know, having to kill a giant Yoma and then using a forbidden ninja art that leaves you in a vegetative state for years. Well, I don't know how long is it, but it's a long time. And then having to rebuild your group back up again. Or, you know, maybe the story of somebody that was initially going to be a good person and then became a bad person because she got betrayed and so she has trust issues and then learns to trust people over time. But no, the lead character is just, my grandpa's awesome. And so I guess I gotta be awesome too. I'm always happy. You didn't rip off my bikini though, so that's points off. Yeah, that fourth wall breaking humor must have really given you that booster upper. Desperate? I guess so. They're pathetic. Blame the writers. Those are the ones that are not adding the character in there, the main character. I mean, in Peach Beach Splash, all of the factions have their own stories again, like in Shinobi Versus, so I don't see this being a problem again. It seems that all of these problems are kind of exclusive to Estival Versus, actually. You saw the player mashing the buttons, that's how he always does it. It was manic, wild, it was murderous intent. Nah, you never get anywhere by being calm and dignified. You have to yell a lot and talk about your friends and your heart. Okay. We're all judging her now? I mean, if by experience you mean being a vegetable for a big part of your life, then sure. I mean, you already got your own bits of glory. You pretty much had the entirety of Deep Crimson, and then you had your own story that had a bunch of stuff about Dogen and whatever. It's gonna make me pull seniority. Sure, the biggest requirement, tons of humor. How about we all just have 4 leads? Let's share Senpai and let's just have a fucking orgy. Oh man, all of the people in the fan community that hate Yumi must really hate this part right now where everybody's just complimenting Yumi. Oh, you're so good, you're so great. Yeah, like, okay, well, we tried to solve our problems by fighting and that didn't work. How about more fighting? Again, not necessarily a good trait, but that's something that all shonen anime and manga protagonists tend to have. Just being stubborn and then just magically still being able to get up even after taking a beating. Great. I still have my clothes on, I can still keep on going. Alright, sure. There's nothing else left for me to rip, so just rip my skin off. Sure, we'll just keep on fighting until we're a bunch of skeletons walking around, slashing each other. Wow, what are those? Yumi's like getting up close and personal, like you have chocolate all over your fucking lip, come on. What? I didn't see that at all. Oh, that's what you're saying. That's why I should be the lead. Oh, so you're literally just saying I am the lead. It's not I should be the lead, I want to be the lead. No. I am the lead. And the lead is Yumi. Regardless of what the fans think. I like Yumi, by the way. I'm more on the camp of loving Yumi than absolutely fucking hating Yumi, which I don't understand why. Right, everyone? Yeah, talking directly to the audience. With that super confident look on your face, right, fanbase? You love me, right? I am the lead, and I will continue to be the lead, whether you like it or not. Okay, I got an A. Training's paying off. Okay, let's just go ahead and save. That was, certainly something. I didn't get that at all. I was like, oh, you're like the sun in the middle of all of us. But I'm the moon, or something like... That was a little kind of out of nowhere. It doesn't really matter, you can't really have night without day, right? So you're saying that both of you are the leads. But anyway, whatever.